Did you know that it is now a crime to be homeless? Pay attention. It's not a secret. Look it up. They are attacking our most vulnerable citizens. The Project 2025 plan is not a game. Look it up.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about actress Taraji P. Henson and Vice President Kamala Harris putting on a cringe performance politically at the most recent BET Awards. Now, there's a lot I want to get into. We got two of the clips. The first is with Kamala Harris and Taraji. Then it's just Taraji by herself screaming as she did throughout the entire show. Now, first things first. I've not watched the BET Awards in a very long time, probably since I was a young guy in my 20s or something like that. But something told me, hey, ABO, you got a little bit of time and you have TV right now. I was watching the playoffs for a minute. Playoffs sucked, didn't like it, but I still paid for TV for a month. Okay, do you still have TV? Turn on the BET Awards. And I was watching it for maybe about 45 minutes, I suppose. I was seeing some of the singers come out. A lot of the singers can't sing, a lot of auto-tune at best, a lot of lip singing at best. Coco Jones came out and did a good job singing, and she looked very good as well, but that's a different story, and I digress. The whole point is, I'm watching the awards, and I see Taraji P. Henson hosting. Now, you guys may know her from Empire with Juicy Smollett, Terrence Howard. She was also on Hidden Figures, Baby Boy, obviously, as Yvette back in early 2000s. She's done quite a bit of movies. Benjamin Button as a mom. I see her hosting, and she is giving a lot of negative energy, a lot of screaming and hollering and carrying on. And then they got into the political stuff. They were kind of lobbying on the show for legislation specifically. That was weird. And then when she started talking, I'm like, wow, if the community is watching this, they're getting misled at best. At worst, outright poisoned. Now, before I go any further, let's get into the first clip here. This is from Kamala Harris and Taraji Henson, a little bit of a skit during the awards. And you got to pause me. You got to pardon me because I will pause it at certain points because of copyright. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
No, Taraji. Now, you know I wouldn't do that, especially not to a fellow bison. The real, ain't you? You know.
They both went to Howard University in D.C., and they say the real one because it's Hampton in Virginia, where I'm from, and it's like a little rivalry between them. Who's the real HU, Howard or Hampton? But anyway, I digress. And it's funny how they didn't mention Puff Daddy, who also went to Howard, but I guess we don't want to talk about the guy that was allegedly assaulting members of his class. But anyway.
So what's on your mind?
Oh, Madam VP Harris, I'm worried about the election. Women's reproductive rights are on the line. Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji.
You're out here in these streets? Is that where we at, Miss Kamala Harris? What streets are we in? But anyway.
There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they not like us.
They not.
There's a full-on attack on our fundamental freedoms. The freedom to vote.
Yep.
The freedom to love who you love. The freedom to be safe from gun violence. The freedom for a woman to make decisions about her own body, not having her government tell her what to do.
Really cringe, really woke. But this is what they were playing during the BET Awards. Now, to be crystal clear, we're talking about music. Okay, we're talking about singing and rapping and dancing and things of this nature. But the political stuff was very heavy during the award show. Now, let's get to what Kamala was saying during one of her hosting segments. And again, her hosting the actual awards, it wasn't really good because she did quite a bit of this screaming and hollering about random stuff. I didn't like it. Let's watch.
I'm telling y'all, you better show up and show out with them ballots. I'm being serious now. I know I look good, but it's a serious time. I need y'all to listen.
Now, before she continues, you guys might not be able to see it, but I want you to kind of squint a little bit. What I'm looking at right here is abs. And I think this is what they call ab etching. It's fake abs. I saw the young lady, just hilarious, from the Breakfast Club morning show, pregnant with a full set of abs. How does that work? Well, you have fake abs that are etched onto your stomach, kind of like a tattoo. But anyway, I digress. It's kind of hard for me to take someone seriously when they're 54 years old with etched abs out in my face in an award show talking about politics. But anyway.
Show up and show out when it's time to vote, because it's not just about the presidential election, you guys. It's time for us to play chess, not checkers. It's about making decisions that will affect us as human beings, our careers, our next generations to come. Did you know that it is now a crime to be homeless?
Now, of course, I got to pause it at certain points because of the copyright, so please pardon me for that. But I've not heard about that. I like her to cite her source about the crime of being homeless. I've never heard about that before. I mean, there's laws against loitering, vagrancy, things of this nature, but to be homeless as a crime, I think not. Didn't they just build a $100+ million homeless tower in Los Angeles? Okay, and they're pretty much allowing the Skid Row to continue. So let's keep on going.
Pay attention. It's not a secret. Look it up. They are attacking our most vulnerable citizens. The Project 2025 plan is not a game.
Now, Project 2025, I've been hearing about that a lot from the community. I think what happened is that there was a TikTok video or something that may have gone viral, and people are afraid of the Project 2025 plan. So when you say, hey, I'm voting for Trump, people in the community might say, well, what about Project 2025? They're trying to take our rights away. Really, all the Project 2025 is, without getting into the 900 pages that it has, is a plan of the incoming administration, probably going to be President Trump, to get the country back on track, to fix the inflation, to fix the crime, to fix the border. If anything, Project 2025 would be a thing that all of us in America, black, white, Puerto Rican, Candy Stripe, would appreciate. But if you're watching TikTok and getting misinformed by uninformed people, then you'll think it's something that you should be afraid of when it's not. But again, I digress.
Look it up. They are trying to bring the draft back. Who do you think they're going to draft first?
Well, look, the draft ain't coming back no time soon. They already have selective service. All they're doing is just automatically. I did a video about that. They're not bringing the draft back no time soon. But if you keep voting for the people that are for these endless foreign wars in Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan, all over the place. Now we're doing regime change in Bolivia, of all places in the world. If you keep voting for those who want to have that kind of activity happening, the chances of a draft coming back in your lifetime are exponentially increased. If you vote for that guy that says we got to have world peace and we're not going to have all this drama and strife, President Trump or someone like him, then the likelihood of the draft coming back reduces dramatically.
I'm not trying to scare us. I'm trying to inform us. We got 3 Supreme Court seats up, you guys. We need those seats, or we have no protection.
Are there 3 seats up, or you just think that there may be 3 people who could retire or die?
Okay, I got it out my system. Our next performer, yes, serious. I'm talking to all the mad people that don't want to vote. You're going to be mad about a lot of things if you don't vote.
All right, so there we have it. Taraji P. Henson, actress. I think she's a singer, but very well-known actress from a lot of movies, TV shows, etc. Out there on the BET Awards pushing propaganda, leftist propaganda. And it wasn't just her. It was like the whole theme of the program. They did kind of a in-show commercial break where they were talking about legislation specifically. I forget what it was. It was something that they were saying, hey, you got to call your local senator. Like, they were doing that kind of stuff. I've never seen that before at an award show. Maybe I had seen it and I'd forgotten about it, but this was pretty blatant. And I think the reason why they do this as I close is because they know black folks going to be looking at this and they're not really going to be watching news or anything like that. They're going to be uninformed. So then they could just misinform them on the award show and then they'll believe it. The same thing with Project 2025. She's spouting that off. But if you were to ask her, hey, what is so scary about Project 2025? she's not going to have much for you. At best, she would show you a TikTok video that's like 90 seconds. Something like, you know, they're just uninformed and they think using this vehicle will be effective. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody who saw the award show and was not affected. Shout out to everybody who bucked against the notion, bucked against the trend of just not knowing anything, being silly, being lazy, just listening to rap music, smoking weed, getting high. Shout out to you guys who bucked the trend and do not conform with their stereotype of the black community. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on Taraji P. Henson and Kamala Harris? Was it a good skit? Was it a good performance during the BET award show? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I did not like this at all. It was really cringe, really woke. And I feel like part of my job is to bring the counter argument, because you can hear what she says all day. You can hear what the BET Awards are trying to put out all day. But what about the other side? Okay, it must be two sides like your man said. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.